Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Happy Monday to another SLG meetup. How's everybody doing? All right. So we're gonna have a conversation with Andy Griesinger to go over the latest trends in real estate in North Carolina and South Carolina. He's one of the top brokers in Charlotte. He was ranked 2019 favorite realtor as well as to 2020. He was also Charlotte's 30 under 30 in 2019, and he's gonna bring the magic to this conversation where he's gonna be discussing some of the latest trends as well as what he's been doing to take his career to the next level. Hey, what's happening, Andy? How are you?
What's going on? I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. I see the beard growing a little bit, huh?
Yeah, it's a little thick. It's time to trim it down.
No, man, looks good, looks good. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's a Monday and interesting, but things are good. So no real complaints over here. Our market is just absolutely insane.
I like that. I like that. Come on. You know, it's funny, Andy, because I actually just met a few people from Charlotte and they're moving to Miami. So I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, like it's good to have both, a little bit of Miami, a little bit of Charlotte. So tell us a little bit. I mean, I was making a quick intro about yourself. You obviously are one of the real estate brokers to look up for when it comes to your market because you've been growing tremendously. So what's going on there?
I try. I mean, I would say, hey James, I would say like honestly, all I've been focused on the last few years is social media and being able to build and boost credibility and exposure. And so that's been, I mean, I heard some of the stuff you were saying about me before I got on, and I was like blushing if you could even see that under here. But it's been a lot of fun, and the biggest thing that I've focused on is doing things that I actually enjoy because it shows that it's authentic and it shows that, I actually enjoy what I'm doing, and that translates when I'm working with different buyers and sellers.
But when it comes to the current trends in your market, like what's going on there? Like why is Charlotte, what is like North Carolina, South Carolina, such hot markets as well?
There's a few reasons. I'm actually supposed to be editing today a video for like why Charlotte. Thanks, Anthony. Um, but I would say that like a big reason is because we get all four seasons, right? So we get the winter, it's not as intense as up north. We get the summer, but it's not as intense as down south. And so you get to experience all four seasons. The weather here is fantastic. You have multiple pro sports teams that people actually enjoy going to. So it's like we're 2 hours from the mountains, we're 3 hours from most of the beaches. And so it's pretty centrally located. We have two lakes here in Charlotte that you can go boat around on all summer. So there's so much to do.
I mean, that's good to know. I mean, I haven't been yet to Charlotte. I can't wait to go see it. So we'll arrange that sometime soon. When it comes to your career, you obviously claim that most of your success came strategically from social media. So how is it that you decided to take that step forward into social media? Where did you focus on and how it has helped you?
I would say this was about 3 years ago was when I got super intentional with social media. I was getting featured in a real estate magazine here in Charlotte, and and basically was like, I just want as many people to see this magazine feature as possible. And so it was about 3 years ago, and really started getting intentional with growing social media. And since then, it's like I just post everything that I'm doing, even if I'm just getting a cup of coffee or walking into a showing. Like this morning I was doing showings at 8:30 this morning. It's
I
like
saw it. Good stuff.
it doesn't matter what we're doing as long as you're staying top of mind with people.
That's good. And you mainly focus on Instagram, YouTube, any other platforms that are your go-to?
Those are the main two.
What about Clubhouse?
Clubhouse is interesting. I I like Clubhouse, and I like listening and being involved. That's how we met. Actually, was through Clubhouse. And so it is interesting, some of the conversations you can have and some of the people you can talk to. I mean, I was sitting up on a stage, I guess, with a couple guys who I've followed on Instagram for years and never spoken to, or there was one guy who I've been listening to his podcast for years, since before I got into real estate.
Hmm.
And so it was cool to be able to like share the stage with someone like that. I do think that it's a really cool app for realtors because
Hmm.
you're able to grow like a referral network through that as well.
So that's good. You said it right there, referrals. I mean, we live in a world where everything is getting closer and closer to be so connected in such a quick span of time. So the more connections that you build, the more contracts that you'll be able to have, right? I mean,
Hmm.
very exciting to see how fast technology is advancing, and you obviously are taking advantage of it. I mean, I've seen some of the videos that you do on a constant basis. They're really fun, and it's that personality. How important it has been for you to build a personal brand and staying true to yourself.
It's so important because people can see right through it if you're not being true to yourself. And that's why I like doing some of the stuff that's a little fun and a little different, but also like going around to the neighborhoods and talking as if I'm talking to a friend or talking to a buyer or talking to a client that's moving here from out of town. And so it is fun, and I've had people say that like you become addicted to doing videos, and it does become like a sort of form of addiction once you start doing it enough and you get the groove and you get the hang of it. And yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Andy, you're made for TV, man. You're Hollywood material.
I got a
Hey,
couple clients that call me Hollywood, so
really?
I
Oh, there you
try
go.
not to. I try not to, but it is kind of funny.
Wow, who knows? Look, it's funny because I was this weekend on a conference, the 10X Growth with
Hmm.
Cardone, and he's actually talking all the time about, erasing that line between entertainment and business and how, we can combine it. So I think that real estate is one of those industries that we are getting more and more comfortable by recording everything, doing great productions, taking care of the personal brand, and really the storytelling, which keeps people engaged with what you do.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun telling stories and being able to talk about where you came from and your background and just everything. People like to know who they're working with. Or, I partnered with Ryan Serhant last year, and he always says all the time that people like shopping with friends.
That's so true. And I was going to ask you that question because, I mean, I've seen that you've done a couple things with Ryan. Now, would you consider him a mentor that has helped you through your career?
I mean, it's pretty new, the relationship. So I started working with him through his like pro level of his community back in September of 2020.
Hmm.
But I mean, he's given me some good tips and good advice. And honestly, when you're able to sit across the table from a guy like that and they tell you that you're going to get addicted to doing video because it's fun and it's good for you, you become addicted to doing video.
Right. I mean, you're doing definitely a great job. So I don't know if it's the addiction that came with it or because you're putting the hours, but either way, it seems like you're having fun doing it and the results also, speak by themselves. You were actually telling me that you got a referral out of a YouTube video a few minutes prior to our conversation the other day, right?
Yeah, yeah. I had a guy who called me, and I thought he was going to try and sell me advertisements on grocery carts, and and turns out he wants to build a house here in Charlotte and has a pretty large budget, and so I'm working on trying to find some land for him to be able to do that. But that came from him watching a video on YouTube and seeing a part of town that he had heard of before, and he'd kind of seen some stuff about it before, but seeing some of the things that I had mentioned when I was in a home in that neighborhood, he was basically like, I have to call this guy and figure out if I can build something there that's like that.
Well, that's phenomenal. Tell me a little bit, Andy, about some of the things that you're doing on a routine basis. So, you have any morning routines that really help you? Or, since we're on topic in regards to videos, what are some routines that you do to really keep the content coming?
The best thing that you can do is hire someone who's going to literally keep you accountable because there's a team that I use or a company that I use, and they're making sure that I'm getting my monthly shoots in, and they're making sure that we're doing our monthly strategy calls and like
Got it.
brainstorming sessions. And so otherwise, you get caught up in the day to day of work, and it could easily slip by. And
Right, right. Okay, cool. So, I mean, I like that. So, stay accountable and have a team that can really help you go through the process. I think that's key. Now, for those that are like sole entrepreneurs or getting started and don't have and support him, what is the easiest way? Just to grab your camera and start recording your day?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, when I first started, I was doing 2 open houses every single weekend. And in front of every open house, I would take my phone and I'd hold it up and I would film myself and I'd be like, hey, I'm standing in front of, 123 Main
Yeah.
Street. I'm going to be doing an open house here tomorrow from 1 to 3. So make sure you come by. Shoot me a text if you need any more information. And I could probably find some old videos of that from a few years ago. And I mean, it would sometimes take 4 or 5 takes and you're standing out in front of this house and you're like, all the neighbors are probably watching me, but you have to do it. And it's like, it's funny because people say you need to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and doing video is definitely uncomfortable for people, but it's like, it pays off. It absolutely pays off.
That's great. No, I mean, so important to really get out of that comfort zone, being comfortable with uncomfortable. Because look, nobody likes to be in front of the camera when you first start doing it. I don't know that many people that are naturals that just immediately love to be in front of the camera. So what you said is right. So I encourage everybody to take a look at Andy's videos because they're really fun and it really showcases your personality, but also in a very informative way. So I think that the moment that you add value by being yourself, people are going to start engaging with you and really, be really engaged with the content in a level that will bring value over time. So that's really good. Now, Andy, I always like to ask this question because you obviously work on some high-end properties and you've seen a little bit of the luxury world. So what is really luxury to you?
Oh man, that's a good question. That I would say just being able to have freedom to do whatever you want to do. Like a lot of those people that I work with at some of those price points, it's like if they want to take off and fly somewhere for a day just because they felt like it, they will. If they want to buy their time back from someone to help them by doing something, they'll do it. Like to them, they live a relatively free lifestyle because of the fact that they're able to afford that. And so to me, some of the like luxury aspects is just being able to have freedom and flexibility if you really want to.
Beautiful. No, that's awesome. I like that. Well, thanks, Andy. Are there any takeaways or anything that you would like to share with the audience?
I mean, I would say the biggest thing is to just start doing video, truly. And I always tell people if they say that like doing video is too expensive or it's too daunting or something, like start with a agent profile video because it's relatively evergreen content for at least a year or two. And it's like, if you do a profile video and you get like one client of yours to give a testimonial during that video, you can share that with everyone. And my first agent profile video was about 2.5, 3 years ago. And I had a client who every single time we met, it was about a year before they bought. And every time we met, we would meet at a brewery. And so they talked about that in my like profile, like testimonial video about how it was a great experience. It was super like relaxed and not very like, it was like unintimidating to them, the home buying process, because every time we wanted to meet to talk about real estate, we went to a brewery or we went to watch a football game and we got to have some fun and we got to talk about real estate. So it helped if I could share that with people, with potential clients, then they could see like, oh, okay, this is how this guy's going to run his business. He's not going to make me come to his office and give me this presentation and all kinds of things like that. It's like, we're going to make this fun.
I like that. I like that. Good takeaway. That's awesome. No, well, thank you, Andy, for sharing your story, sharing some of the latest trends in the market, where you are located, and also the takeaways in terms of how important videos, testimonials are. So I do appreciate your time. I know you have a busy week ahead. So thanks again for joining us. I look forward to seeing you, whether in Charlotte or you coming here to Miami, and we'll stay connected. Thank you so much.
I'll let you know when I come down to Miami soon.
All right. Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Make sure to follow Andy. He's the man. He's doing a great job. So make sure to take a look at his work. And if you have questions, please reach out to him or to myself. Thank you.
Man. Good to see you.
Bye-bye.